Rhythm is a funny thing when it comes to training horses because so often we accept the rhythm that is being kind of served up to us by our horse. But you know what? That's not really what rhythm is. It is, but it isn't. Let's dive into it today. Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Strides podcast. My name is Lorna Leeson. I'm an equestrian trainer and coach, and I work with riders from all over the world to help them begin to feel proud of not only their riding, but also their training and how their horse is working, especially if they're doing it alone without a trainer or coach. So today I want to talk about one of the fundamentals, okay? Rhythm, and how rhythm is so often maybe confused for a lot of riders, because at the end of the day, what's rhythm? Look, we know that rhythm is just a pattern at a sequence that's repeating, okay? So it's like you've a couple of beats and they're on repeat, and there you go, you got a rhythm, okay? But when it comes to training and when it comes to developing horses, okay, and developing as a rider, that's not really what we're going for with rhythm, okay? Yes, we want the pattern, and yes, we want the sequence to be on repeat. Of course we do. But you see, horses are naturally rhythmic. Like, they have rhythm. They've good rhythm, hey? They don't need to do a whole lot to create a rhythm. The issue is that the rhythm is often not a great rhythm, okay? Think of your favorite song. Your favorite song probably has great rhythm. And then there's probably this other song that you just don't enjoy because, yes, it's got a rhythm, but you don't like it, okay? And how we have to approach rhythm as a rider is to begin thinking about how we can improve it, how we can make the rhythm better. Now, I have a pony and she's very rhythmic, eh? She's also like a sewing machine. It's like grrr, rhythmic, yes, but is that what we're looking for? No. Okay. And it's taken a lot of work, it's taken a lot of time, it's taken a lot of effort to begin to establish a better rhythm. And I think that this is one of the most basic things. Of course it is, it's basic, it's down there, kind of entry level on the training scale, okay? It's a basic thing, but it is so often an overlooked thing. We fall into the trap as riders of thinking that if there is a rhythm, any rhythm, okay? If there's a rhythm, we're golden. Check, tick it off the list, and move along to the next thing on the list. And it couldn't be further from the truth, okay? So I want to talk today about rhythm, but I also then want to talk about tempo, because rhythm and tempo, they're related. They certainly are. But they are slightly different as well, okay? So let's first of all talk about the rhythm, and let's think about the walk and how your horse, I can guarantee you, when he's walking, he has a rhythm. You know he's got a rhythm. I know he's got a rhythm. There's a rhythm there. I want you to begin assessing the rhythm. I want you to begin thinking about the rhythm. Is this the rhythm I really want from my horse, okay? What I like to look at when I think about rhythm is the space. I like to look at the space within the rhythm. So you've got the beats, yeah? You know, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, we're talking walk. And the key here is thinking, instead of them all running into one another, like all of the 1, 2, 3, and the 4, okay? That they're just like all like run into each other as though it's like one big thing. How could you encourage your horse to put a little bit more space in there? Space, like a little bit more definition within each of the beats, okay? And I think that is a better way of thinking about rhythm. That is how you can begin to actually improve the rhythm. So instead of it all running together, you would have space and clarity. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So you get that lovely, the spaciousness in it. Now, if we're then talking tempo is basically how often the 1, 2, 3, 4 is on repeat within a certain kind of a time frame or a certain distance, okay? So tempo can speed up or tempo can slow down, okay? And very often when the rhythm is not great, you often have a fast tempo. Now, there are a couple of occasions when the exact opposite happens. We'll chat about that just now, okay? Especially the canter. But yeah, so if the rhythm is like, it's a little bit, everything's running into each other. The tempo tends to be quite speedy as well. So what I would then suggest doing is, first of all, slowing the tempo, and then from there, beginning to work on defining the rhythm. And all you're doing by defining the rhythm is defining each footfall, defining each beat, okay? And then the challenge becomes, the game becomes, the whole work becomes being able to maintain it. Once you've found maybe a slightly better or a slightly more spacious rhythm, okay? And once you've found a tempo that is good and you feel that you and your horse are moving forward and it's not rushing and racing and it's not going nowhere slowly, it's like just nice, thinking Goldilocks here, you've got it all good and it feels good and it's just right, just in the middle. Can you maintain that? Can you maintain the rhythm and the tempo through different movements, through transitions, through changing direction, okay? All of the things. Are you able to maintain the tempo and the rhythm? And that becomes the goal for your work session with your horse. Now, the walk, I love starting at the walk, by the way, but the walk is a funny thing because the walk, you often will see horses who've maybe been thought to walk less than great, okay? And the walk is actually the gate where so often it's easy for riders to have a long-term negative, unfortunately, impact on the walk. So if you've maybe got your horse that it hasn't always been your horse, maybe you got your horse from somebody else or you just took over the ride of the horse, whatever, okay? That your horse now, you may find that once we've been talking about all this, you know what, the rhythm's actually not that great at all. The good news is that because it was able to be changed for the worse, unfortunately, it also means it can be changed for the better. So you can actually do some work there. I really do feel that the walk and the canter are the two that a lot of people can potentially have a negative impact on their horse's way of going, okay? But the walk especially. And I think it's often because we try and do so much within the walk. Like if we're thinking of training, if we're thinking of practicing new things, very often we'll do it in the walk. And maybe we want to slow everything down in order to do it properly, okay? And we kind of lose the forwardness, we lose the flow of it, and we end up really having this negative long-term impact on the horse's rhythm within the walk. But yeah, think about the space, and then from there, then look at the trot, okay? Now with the trot, it's the same. It's just the space within it. Think about, instead of it being like a sewing machine, okay, grrr, that you're really looking for this space, the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? That there's space between it instead of it being 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? We want space, yeah? So again, what I would suggest is if you feel that your trot is not great, slow things down, slow the tempo, then work on the rhythm. But remember, in order for rhythm to happen, you have to have forwardness. If there's no forwardness, you won't have rhythm. You won't be able to, first of all, establish a good quality, correct rhythm, and from there you won't be able to maintain it. So you have to have the forwardness there, okay? It's built on forwardness, but then from there, really and truly working to create that space for yourself. Now, from there you can go into canter, and I said earlier how very often when things speed up, things go a little bit awry. Well, in the canter, this can happen the opposite way, okay? So often people want to slow the canter right down to the point where the diagonal pair that is the number 2 beat, the 1, 2, 3, yeah? So you've 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The diagonal pair, they slow it down so much that they're no longer a diagonal pair. They're actually 2 different footfalls. So the canter becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So you want to make sure that you can continue to maintain the integrity of the canter, because if it's 4 beats, it's not canter. Hey, you can lie to yourself till the cows come home. It's not canter. So you're looking to maintain the integrity of the canter, but you're doing so from this more correct rhythm. Okay. The forwardness. And then again, looking at the tempo. Okay. And with the canter, if you feel that, hold on, we've totally lost like the second beat. It's not there anymore. It's not 2, okay? It's I have 4. I've definitely gone to 4. Speed things up often. Often it's the lack of forwardness. So let it on a little bit and then begin refining it, but holding on to the forwardness, like really focusing on, okay, we're still moving forward, we're still shifting forward, but we're going to maintain that. And then from there, then work at creating the space between each of the beats. I think that the space between the beats is so important. And when there's more space between the beats, okay, when you focus on the space that you're creating with your horse, that's where you truly are going to see differences in how your horse is working and how your horse is moving. And I think that that's really important. Okay, if you are interested in diving into things like this and lots more, you can pop on over to stridesforsuccess.com/connection. And we can actually work together privately online, and we can have virtual lessons together there, and we can work on all of this and so much more with you and your horse in your own arena. So you can get all the details over at stridesforsuccess.com/connection. Okay, I am going to leave you there. Have a great week. Keep well, and I'll chat to you soon. Be good. Bye.